Now to our continuing coverage of Governor Kevin Stitt's lawsuit against State Attorney General Gentner Drummond. Both sides made arguments this morning before the Oklahoma Supreme Court.
The argument centered around a formal opinion made by Drummond last year that said members of the governor's office cannot also serve as agency heads. The governor says that opinion is not backed up by state law. Fox 23's Devin Lyon joins us live in studio to break down the arguments and the decision ahead.
When the governor first filed this lawsuit last October, he said the attorney general was targeting members of his cabinet. Now with this lawsuit, it's important to note that this argument comes between the governor and the state attorney general, who is currently a candidate for governor in 2026.
This historical practice has continued uninterrupted, unchallenged, and uncontroversial until now.
Attorneys representing Governor Kevin Stitt and State Attorney General Gentner Drummond presented their arguments before the Oklahoma Supreme Court. The arguments center around this question in state law. Can members of the governor's cabinet also hold offices as state agency heads? Here is the state statute in question. The governor shall appoint, with the advice and consent of the Senate, a secretary to head each cabinet area from funds available to that office, or appointed as a cabinet secretary from among the agency heads within the cabinet area. A March 2024 formal opinion by the state AG says they can't, citing the potential abuse of power by those individuals and the state funding two salaries for one person.
It is absurd to say that the legislature had the foresight to create a broad exception to the dual office holding prohibition decades before cabinet secretaries became officers.
Drummond's formal opinion was specifically referring to Tim Gatz, who previously served as the Secretary of Transportation and the Director of the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. Gatz resigned from two of those positions last year. He remains the Director of ODOT. Stitt has said in the past this formal opinion was targeting his cabinet.
That's why this is such a head scratcher, why you're weaponizing your office and coming after a political, coming after a great public servant like Tim Gatz.
The governor's attorney argued this is nothing new and state law allows it.
The historical record confirms that text has always been read in the same way. Since Governor Bellman's first appointments, every Oklahoma governor, Governors Walters, Keating, Henry, Fallon, and now Governor Stitt, has named cabinet secretaries who also served as agency heads.
The attorney general, just like this court, simply calls balls and strikes when he issues a formal opinion. The Attorney General stands by the opinion at issue in this case. Since its territorial days, Oklahoma has broadly precluded individuals from holding more than one office.
Drummond's attorneys claim that the state statute in question sets forth only the funding guidelines for those positions, and that since cabinet members were giving rulemaking veto powers back in 2021, they cannot lawfully uphold two different positions. Now, we'll try on this story on Fox23.com to attach those state statutes and all the other documents referenced in this argument. Live in the newsroom covering news that matters, Devin Lyon, Fox 23 News.
It typically takes the state Supreme Court 1 to 9 months to issue their decisions on cases like this. We will bring you an update when that happens.